Hello. Hey, hi. People say hey, hi, hello. I don't have an intro. Haven't filmed a video since like June. I swear, every single time I make a video, I'm like, this is my comeback. I'm gonna be making videos regularly. I am here today to do the end of your book tag. This is created by Ariel Bissett. It's just a quick little tag with like 5 questions. So since I haven't made a video since June, even though I have a whole bunch of wrap-ups that I want to catch up on, I was like, end of your book tag is a fun way to get back into filming and like get a nice quick video up and just feel good about myself that I finally put up a video after, what, like 5 months? I hope I'm in focus again. Not having a flip out screen is a real struggle sometimes. Oh, also, you might hear a little bit of buzzing. There are flies. There are a couple of flies just like dancing away in my window. We're just gonna let them live. Question number 1 is, are there any books that you started this year that you still have to finish? I'm usually someone who doesn't have too many, like I see some people who have like 30 currently reading books on their Goodreads. I'm like, you go. Like, you do you. I love that. But for me, if I have any more than like 3, I'm like, whoa. So I often am pretty good about finishing books unless I'm DNFing it and either don't plan to ever pick it up again or plan to pick it up sometime, but it's not like I give a deadline for myself for when to pick it up. So I think the only book this year that I'm kind of just, it's in limbo, like I started reading it and I just never finished it yet, it's Love After the End, an anthology of two-spirit and indigenous speculative fiction edited by Joshua Whitehead. I started reading this in June and I read the first 2 stories, so I think there's 7 more to go. It wasn't that I wasn't liking it, I just, short story collections are not historically my thing. And so I struggle. I really want to finish before the end of the year. I'm going to try to finish it off in November. There's only 7 stories and the first 2 that I read were really good. I really liked them. I just have to like sit down and commit myself to it. So this is the one that I really need to finish before the end of the year. Question number 2 always confuses me. It's, do you have any autumnal books to transition to the end of the year? So I always wonder, is this a question about like, do you have book recommendations that you've already read? Or is this a question of books that you think are going to help you transition to your end of your reading that you haven't read yet? I don't know. Either way, I picked a few. So like for me, autumnal reads always, like I think a lot of people on BookTube, not everyone, but a lot of people want to read like thrillers and horror and spooky books, witchy books, dark academia vibes, like all that kind of darker stuff, and that's definitely what I've been doing all October. So witchy books, I'll just talk about 3 that I've read so far this month because I wasn't thinking about books that I've read previously, but like a witchy book, Practical Magic is witchy. Then I also have read some great horror this month, including these 2. Last House on New Street, maybe my favorite horror book I've ever read. And White Smoke I think is set in the autumn. It gives very autumnal, dark night, scary vibes, haunted house. It's great. So those are a few that I've read so far this month that I'm helping to transition myself into the end of the year. I'm freaking myself out worrying that I'm not in focus, but it's okay, it's fine. Third question is there a new release you're still waiting for this year, I'm assuming? So I think most people, I mean a lot of people got ARCs, but a lot of people are waiting for Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. I've read Jade City and Jade War just in the last month or so, and I really enjoyed them. Another thing I'm really excited for is Hunting by Stars by Sherry Dimmeline. This actually just came out the other day, but my pre-order is still on the way to me, so I don't have it yet. I'm planning to read it in November. This is a sequel to The Marrow Thieves, which I have somewhere way up there. The Marrow Thieves, which I read a few years ago, I just reread it in preparation and I still really loved it. And highly recommend. Go pick up The Marrow Thieves. Another one is A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsk. I really want to get this book. Very much sounds kind of like a more historical, magical House in the Cerulean Sea. It follows a character as he takes on a new position in a magical society. He's dealing with another guy who he can't stand but kind of likes, and it's gay and it's historical and it's magical, and I'm really excited for it. I might pre-order it. The 4th question is, what are 3 books that you want to read before the end of the year? I have just picked, I don't know, I have so many and I've been buying a good amount of new releases lately. I'll show you the ones that are really screaming at me right now, which is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. It's a chunker, but it has big font. I'm so excited for this one. I'm gonna try to read it in November. Oh, it's so pretty. The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. Definitely gonna try to get to this before the end of the year. I'm not gonna try, I am going to get to it. I'm very excited for it. It's just one of those books, it's so acclaimed. And then another one that I bought earlier this year is Who is Maud Dixon by Alexandra Andrews. The next question is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I have some that I really have high hopes for. Those three that I just mentioned, the Jasmine, Throne, the Vanishing Half, and Who's Maud Dixon, obviously, I really think I'm probably gonna love the Vanishing Half and the Jasmine Throne. I know less about Who is Maud Dixon, that's why I'm not sure how to feel about it. I haven't heard hardly anybody reading it, but, I hope I'm gonna love those. I also just started last night The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. I've read the first chapter, the prologue in the first chapter, so it's gonna take me a while to get through this one. This is one of those, like, the fantasy epics, right? And I really have been feeling drawn to reading the epic fantasy lately, so I'm starting this series. Is there also, you know, some underlying reasons, like the hype behind the new show that's gonna come out based on this? Like, maybe. But it was a series I just always knew I wanted to read someday, and someday is today, because I've decided right now I'm gonna read it. I'm also really excited for Iron Widow by Zirin J. Zhao. I'm gonna be researching how to pronounce everything when I start reading this. I was originally really excited for this, and then I found out it was YA, and so I was a little more nervous because I was like, maybe it's gonna be, like, I've just read a few YA books, like newer YA books this year that felt very young, and that's nothing on them. Like, I'm just an adult now reading YA, right? It's not marketed towards me, but I've heard this one is so gruesome and violent and dark, and the cover's just gorgeous. I am a sucker. I'll say this again and again. Orange books. Orange is my favorite color. It's so beautiful. So I'm really excited for this. I'm planning to read it in November. One more that I hope to get to before the end of the year. I could see this maybe making its way into my December TBR if I get to it, but I really don't want to push. I don't want to rush this one because I just have such high expectations, you know, I'm nervous. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Oh man, this is one of those books that I've been seeing the praise. I've been wanting to pick it up for so long. I'm just so nervous about it. I love Greek mythology. I've loved it since I was a kid. I'm nervous, right? I'm nervous about it. The last question is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? Read all of the books that I didn't get to this year. Really though, I want to continue on and read more of the epic fantasy series. I'm all of a sudden, the last couple weeks, I've been like, I need to read The Wheel of Time, I need to read Robin Hobb and The Farseer and all those books, I need to read N.K. Jemisin, I maybe want to try Brandon Sanderson again, Octavia Butler, Scott Lynch, Joe Abercrombie. I'm just wanting to read all the fantasy epics. That's a big one. I'm going to be getting into a lot of fantasy series starting next year. But I'm starting with The Eye of the World. I'm starting with the Wheel of Time series. I'm probably not going to even finish that series next year. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a couple of years reading that probably. I want to read, obviously, I'm always trying to read as diversely as possible. I want to pick up some like more classic authors that, like, I really want to read a Toni Morrison. I really want to read James Baldwin. Oh, next year, I want to do a thing. If I get consistent with booktubing again, I would love to do a series where I read the oldest books on my TBR so that I'm not only keeping up with these newer releases that I'm buying and other new books I'm buying, but I also want to start really tackling, because I have some books from like 2015, maybe even before that I haven't read yet. Every like 2 or 3 months I want to do a video where I read like 3 or 4 of the oldest books on my TBR. I think that'd be fun. Every single goal under the sun, essentially. But yeah, that is the end. That's the end of the tag. That's the end of this video. I'm not going to tag anyone specifically. I feel like tags nowadays are just like people do them when they want. And they say, everyone, I tag everyone. So yeah, it's a fun video to do. On that note, happy reading. If you don't really have anything to say, but you'd like to leave a comment, leave an eye for The Eye of the World, because this is what I just started reading and I'm daunted by the task, but I'm very excited. Yeah, leave an eye emoji in the comments if you just wanted to let me know you were here. I'll be back soon with a influx of wrap-up videos because I haven't filmed a wrap-up since June, but I've read a lot of great books that I want to share and talk about. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Tell me what you're most excited to read before the end of the year in the comments. Alright, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye!